We've just outlasted the most dangerous event of the year, the Purge, where for 12 hours all crime, including murder, is legalized. But, little do you know, you won't ever get to go back to your old life again. The Purge is going to be permanent, and America has descended into chaos. Would you survive and escape this horrible situation? In this video, we're going over every mistake made, see how we can beat the Purge, and help every character escape with their lives in the Forever Purge. We start out with Juan and Adela, who are illegally passing into Texas, with the help of these smugglers here. They're led through a tunnel by the small boy, and since there's a lot of cartel violence driving them away, they don't have much choice here. However, they're making a big mistake of immigrating to this version of America. If my life were being put into danger, with murder being legal every year, I'd choose literally anywhere else. Canada or any place in Europe would be much safer. But instead, they decide to pursue the American dream and seem to do fairly well. It's been 10 months. Juan's a horse tamer and worker on the Tucker family ranch, while Adela's helping run a meat factory in Austin. In the days and hours right before the Purge, you need to keep a low profile and not incite conflict. Adela here sees two sketchy guys walk out of a gun store, and if I were her, I'd keep walking and avoid eye contact. We shouldn't make a target of ourselves. Juan also lets his boss know that his son was acting racist to him, which, if the Purge was happening in a couple hours, I wouldn't do. It can't hurt to just wait until morning to bring stuff like that up. The Purge is starting and everybody's locking down, and for 12 hours, all crime is legal, especially murder. Juan and Adela here have booked a bus to get the protection of a migrant community that's gated and has armed guards to protect them. Now, this is a great business idea, as long as you can trust the people around you. I'd still carry a weapon just in case and invest in body armor if the budget allows for it. For Purge night, Juan and Adela here are among mostly strangers, but the Tucker family are all hunkered down in their fancy house-turned-fortress. Ironically, Juan and Adela are the safer ones here, because they have armed guards protecting them, while the Tuckers only have each other. And statistically, you're more likely to be killed by someone you know. The Purge has begun, and as expected, there are people just shooting, battering, and stabbing each other in the street. Meanwhile, Dylan's hearing and seeing people out in the security cams, but he's not paying proper attention here, and it's going to cost him later. Adela comes out for air when an armed convoy with the Purge Purification Force coming in to so-called cleanse the land are driving by. She sees people suffering in the van and almost takes the shot when the roof guard stops her. It's a good thing too, because they're able to get out of the Purge without incident. But we still have 70 minutes left in this movie, so the fun's not over yet. It's the day after, and it seems like everything's just business as usual. But already, we're seeing signs that something's not right with this Purge, even more so than usual. Adela fails to hear the newscaster getting popped in the head. She's not being aware of her surroundings, and it's going to cost her life. Dylan here's going about his day, opening up the stables, when he sees horses going out of their cages. Now, if he were paying attention earlier that night, he'd see this guy scampering around his barn and may have come more prepared. Instead, he gets jumped by the skull guy and his merry band of cowboys. Meanwhile, Adela sees a goat trapped outside her work and reaches in to help it. She's got a big heart, and some purgers are going to make sure she dies for it. The trap activates, and now she's stuck there, and at the mercy of two murder bunnies. Alright, if you want to help an obvious bait goat, then sure. But if you have to stick your neck into a cage to reach the bloodied lever that releases it, then you're just asking for it. Just walking back into your building and getting someone to help you would be the best strategy. They're about to punch a hole right through her with this pressurized stick, but her boss comes in clutch with the surprise attack, whacking one from the back and hitting the other with his own cleaver. I've gotta say, this guy's got a lot of experience slicing the meat. Now, this thing looks like it was built by Jigsaw, but that still means that it's escapable. Later, her boss uses a pipe to pry it high enough for her to escape, so what she needs to do is push up with both of her hands so her head can slip through. If she was all by herself, this is her only hope. But the other guy is not done yet. Grabbing him from behind, He's about to finish him off when Adela does a bit of back and forth with him, putting him in his own trap and giving him a taste of karma. The police come in with perfect timing to arrest the innocent people, ignoring the Purge guys on the floor. We're back with the Tuckers, and they're in an even worse situation. Tied up and gagged, they're at the mercy of some psycho Purgers, one of which is a disgruntled worker, who's aggressively requesting a promotion. To celebrate their eternal purge, they fire off some shots, alerting Juan and TT to their location. But instead of calling the cops, they go right towards the sound, seeing our angry cowboy try to extort Dylan by threatening his whole family. Now that's what I call aggressive negotiating. Juan and TT go for more firepower, while Caleb, Dylan's dad, tries to lecture our cowboy and his lackeys to death, getting a bullet to the head because of it. At least the sacrifice wasn't in vain, because he bought Juan and TT enough time to save the rest of the family. Now, what could we have done if we were in Caleb's shoes? Well, instead of just insulting the guy, we could offer up our wealth and farm. By giving it to him legally, he'll have to keep us and our family alive, which will buy us more time. Caleb was very short-sighted and simply wanted to go out like a badass, which I can respect, but he could have lived had he done the smarter thing and not provoked them. The Tuckers, TT, and Juan are driving around in this huge semi-truck. Juan and TT are planning on going out alone to save Adela, but since they saved the entire Tucker family, they're going to be waiting for us, with one of them joining our raid. Adela and Darius are stuck in here with this bald white supremacist and some Harley Quinn wannabe, both of whom are insane. Adela and Darius, in this moment, are in an insanely dangerous situation. Since they're in a police car, everyone will be gunning for them. One Purger whips out a bazooka, blowing them to hell, and flipping the van. Alright, if we're bound down to our seats, now's the time to start sawing through the straps. We might be able to stay alive if they don't search the van, but having the freedom to run away and fight back will keep us alive. Dylan sees some menacing construction workers circling his truck like sharks, so he gets out, gives his pregnant wife a revolver, and sweeps the perimeter. Seeing this guy with a sledgehammer tries to bust in, but Dylan empties half a clip into him, downing him for good. Which is a complete waste of ammo. Going for critical mass and aiming for the head will help you save bullets. Going to check the body, he's jumped by the guy's friend, but he's able to outfight him and smashes his face in with a sledgehammer. It's a good thing he took those self-defense classes. Back with Adela, the van's flipped on its side, and the huge Nazi white supremacist gets on top of her, but Adela's able to gouge his eyes and Darius chokes him out. Then, they hear banging on the outside of the van. If these are real Purgers, the best thing you can do is play dead. The driver window is too thick for us to break through and take the cop's weapon, so by hiding under this huge guy's dead body, we can take all the fun out of it for these Purgers, and they'll pass by without a second thought. Luckily for them, it's Adela's husband Juan and his team, but it's still not safe, and Purgers are closing in from all sides. Leave Darius behind to find his family and escape in the semi-truck, the entire town in ruins. They get to a motel, and everybody there is dead. TT does the right thing here and kicks the gun away from this dead guy, but I would take it a step further and steal his gun and ammo. Hey, we never know when it might come in handy. Martial law is finally declared, with Canada and Mexico taking in refugees to stay safe. With Mexico being the closest option, it's now ironically the safest place for us to go. Unless we can take a plane to Canada in under 6 hours, it's our only option. Crossing through a highway, they see a bunch of Purgers on motorcycles celebrating the Forever Purge, and now they want a piece of the semi-truck, forming a geese flock formation around them and trying to get them to slow down. With a stroke of genius, Harper here grabs an Ever After flag and signals to them that they're part of the movement. They buy it, and they leave the entire family alone. Okay, we got insanely lucky here. Other people might not be so honorable, but as long as we identify ourselves as Ever After Purgers and part of their movement, we'll at least be saved from the purists. Finding branded clothing and repping their merch will protect us from them, but keeping it hidden from the police or military would also be crucial, because they will shoot us on sight. The truck's been too damaged, and now they have to go out on foot for a few blocks. Applying Special Forces tactics and slicing the pie here by checking every corner will be our best bet. Unfortunately, none of them bother to bring body armor, especially for the pregnant wife, and it's a mistake that they're going to regret. With people running and screaming everywhere, passing through buildings will give us some cover. They cross a street with a literal tank down it, which ends up firing a shell into the building they run to. Now they're separated, with Adela and Cassie on one side, and Juan, TT, Dylan, and Harper on the other. Their plan is to meet up out back, but they should also have a backup plan if it's too crowded there, that they just meet up back in Mexico. Adela has to roll with Cassie, who is pregnant, which is a severe disadvantage. We need to be quiet and have her watch our backs. It looks like Adela's ex-military, because she handles 2 grown men like it's nothing. It's our team of 4 that's in trouble, because just as they walk into a dark alleyway with no easy exit or cover, the white supremacist Purge Purification Force completely surrounds them, disarming them and offering Dylan and Harper an ultimatum. This redneck here wants them to kill Juan and TT in exchange for their lives. And when they refuse, they kill TT themselves, but right as Juan is about to get it, the military shoots them up, causing the chaos we need to fight back and escape. Alright, this group was set on killing us, so what could we have done to prevent them? Well, the military is clearly on our side, and is only after the Ever After Purgers and the PPF, so if we identify ourselves and drop our weapons, we could turn ourselves into them and stay surrounded by them at all times. That way, we'd have enough firepower that the PPF wouldn't try to play games with our lives. In the scuffle, Juan kills the redneck's wife and the remaining group gets away. Both teams manage to make it and reunite at this hidden safe house, which had horrible security, by the way. I mean, anybody could just walk in without warning. At least lock your doors. Come on. The good news doesn't last, however, as Mexico's closing its borders 2 hours early in response to the military withdrawing due to heavy losses. And since it's the Ever After Purgers that are now in power, I'd be wearing that merch like my life depended on it. If we get caught by them, all we have to do now is wear a mask and have their logo somewhere on us to identify ourselves as friendly. All the people hiding out in the safe house get rushed to a transport truck with nothing but cloth on all sides to protect them if someone decides to shoot at us. Unlucky for us, that redneck and his crew are rolling up to get revenge on us for killing his wife. And even though it's the most dangerous option, we're deciding to stay and fight them off to save everybody else running off. It's here that I wish the characters had bought body armor or had any protection besides a thin cloth shirt or leather jacket. But they're missing a key strategy here. Our guys open fire using the best rifles they have, then quickly run out of ammo. Like Sun Tzu says, appear weak when you are strong, and strong when you are weak. So, we should open with the pistols first, and when they're close and bunched up like this, hit them with the AR fire. The explosive arrows here are a great idea, and can be directed more effectively than grenades or landmines can be. Now they're out of ammo, and a firing squad is approaching. Running away, they get to this abandoned shack and get breached by these 2 guys. Hiding out, then taking them by surprise will be our most effective strategy. 2 of them are able to do this and take 2 out with relative ease. One guy on a motorcycle breaks down a door and knocks Abella out cold. Now Juan has to fight off 2 people and protect his wife. Now, the 2 most important things for him to remember is to not let him get positioned between them and don't get hit to the ground. Getting them both in front of him and keeping them from flanking is what he needs to do until someone's able to help him. He doesn't do any of this, takes one out, but gets tackled from behind, and he's about to get his face shredded by a motorcycle wheel. Abella comes to, shoots his attacker dead, but gets grabbed through a window and held hostage by the redneck. With a knife to her throat, he's put himself in a bad position. He could get attacked from all sides and has no backup to protect him. Juan Wonder Woman's his neck with a lasso, and Dylan lassos his AR away from him. Now, if I were Dylan, I wouldn't be lassoing the gun so it's aiming right for me like this. Instead, I'd stand a bit behind a redneck so he won't see what I'm doing or where I am. The trio tackle him to the ground, and Juan pops one in his head while delivering a one-liner.
Does this translate? Pendejo.
They make it across the border, and Dylan's able to see his newborn daughter for the very first time. Now one of the 2 million people that fled across Canadian-Mexican borders as refugees, they're set to start a new life here again, with what remains of America going up in flames. But what are your thoughts? Would you survive the Forever Purge? Let me know with a comment down below. Thanks for watching this video, leave a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.